Colorful, yeah.
Is the competition linebacker a little less wide open?
I think we're starting to figure out, who it possibly could be. I think there's some front runners right now, but it's not done. It's not over with. We just got to see some consistency now. Some guys have shown some sparks and some ability and some potential. Now they just got to show consistency, and once they do that, they'll earn their spot. But at the same time, we're going to rotate more than we have in the past. Looking around this offseason and some of the teams that, some of the defenses that are paired with tempo offenses where you're getting lots of plays, I think it's necessary that you start to rotate. These teams are healthier towards the end of the season. They're fresher, and I just think it's going to be good for our entire defense. Plus, you develop the young talent at the same time.
Aaron and Kenny have been running with the ones. What about that particular group do you like? What do they offer you?
Between Aaron and Kenny?
Well, just those four out there. With Miles, Kenny.
There's so many Kennys, aren't there?
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem all year.
Okay, there's a lot of Kennys.
Like 4 Kennys on defense.
Yeah, in our 34 package, as of today, and as I said, anything can change. Today it was Miles, it was Aaron Wallace, it was Kendricks, and it was Kenny Young. Now that was today. Again, that's today. And then our nickel package was Deion Hollins on one side, and it was Miles and Eric Kendricks in the middle, and Oa on the other side. So they got a lot to prove, and I think sometimes you'd like to say practice is everything, and we value that highly. But at the same time, let's see these guys perform on Saturdays, and that'll be telling as well.
How much tougher would you say this defense is than it was 2 years ago at this time?
I was telling the team and the defense this a couple days ago that it just feels different. There's a different vibe. It's just there's a different attitude. I don't know if you guys see that from the outside in, but it's just they've got a little spiciness to them. It's like that feeling like there's always going to be a fight on every single play. It's just they're on edge, which is, I think, a good thing.
Coach, 2 weeks in San Bernardino, almost up. Who stood up to you on defense over these 2 weeks?
They all did. And over the course of 2 weeks, everybody had their moments. I think the guys that had more moments than the rest are the ones that are going to play. But I thought just collectively as a defense, we got a lot better. Definitely worth the trip again. Love it out here. It's just we get exactly what we want from coming out here.
Anthony Jefferson started getting some time at corner in the nickel package. What do you see out of him? Do you like what you saw him?
He's just jack all trades. It's awesome to have a guy like that. The more you can do, just very versatile. Coach Me talks about it all the time. He likes DBs, right? DBs, not necessarily corners, not necessarily safeties, nickels, dimes. Guys that can do it all. He definitely provides that for us.
How do you about how Aaron Wallace has developed since he's been out here during fall camp? It just seems like he's starting to do more and more.
Yeah. Aaron is a guy that he always had the potential. He's always had the physical skill set. It's just sometimes it takes a little longer to develop for whatever the reason may be. But he's shown signs that he's coming into his own. He's starting to figure this thing out, and that's super exciting to me. So it's just he'll have an opportunity to be the guy initially, I think, and we'll see where we go from there.
How do you go about making a defense tougher mentally? Not necessarily physically stronger, that sort of thing, but mental toughness.
I mean, there's a million things that we do. We have a standard. We uphold it for them, not for us, but for them. And really, it's become a situation where they've taken the reins a little bit, and that's who they want to be. We talk about being hard and tough and nasty and passionate about this game. And at first, it was our words, and now it's become their words. So it's very cool.
How hard is it for Zach Whitley to manage this whole situation when he's not out here?
It's tough. He's an emotional kid, and he loves ball. It's the most important thing in his life. And to not be out here, I know, has been eating him alive. But it's also a situation where we got to be careful with him. We got to make sure that we handle this correctly. And he's coming along. He looked way better the last couple days. I think we'll see him out here on the field pretty soon. another very exciting guy to get involved with this defense.
Is he might he be set back so far, or is he that athletic that he might be able to come in and accelerate enough?
I think it's going to be a thing where, we kind of find out what he's comfortable with initially and find a role for him. I think he's a guy that we got to involve in some way in this defense. He's got too much talent not to.
What would you like to see more from Kenny or Joe?
Kenny he's another guy like Anthony Jefferson in the way that he's so versatile. He can play outside backer, he can play defensive end, he can play Sam, he can play Will, he can do everything for us. And I love that. So sometimes pigeonholing him into the Will spot or the end spot is kind of selling him short. He's a great guy that if he doesn't earn the starting spot, will get a ton of playing time. He'll spell Dion, he'll spell Aaron Wallace, he'll be involved in both facets of the defense, and it's a guy that we'll take advantage of for sure.
Is Marcus Rios back healthy?
What's that?
Marcus Rios?
Yeah, I don't know what his status is. I heard that it's positive, and I heard that we'll get him back here pretty soon, but I'm not sure exactly.
Are there a few guys in particular on this defense that you look at and they kind of invoke that toughness that you really want out of the whole unit?
It starts with that man in the middle, Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark is a grown man. He's a grown man. I played with a lot of really good defensive linemen in my career, and he'd be top 3 up there with those guys. He's a guy that if I'm an inside backer, that's the kind of guy you want to play behind. He's unselfish, he's tough, he's strong as hell, he's just technically sound, he's everything that you want. And then, you jump around, it's all over the place. Owa has that mentality now. Kendricks has always had that mentality. He played with one leg cut off, right? On the headset last year, I remember Coach me yelling at me like you're gonna get a lawsuit against you. Kendrick was like, he's dying, and I'm like, I tried to pull them out like 30 times. He won't come out. I can't cross the white line, unfortunately, anymore. But and then it goes to Randall Goforth and Fabian and Anthony, like we talked about. Ish is he's tougher than shit too, so we got guys all over the place. I think Kenny Young is a guy that slowly emerged in that role, and Miles is like the biggest prick on the field, which is awesome.
In your defense, is it ideal to kind of build out from that nose tackle spot? I know that's paramount for a lot of 3-4.
I think that's a big part of it. Yeah. But we're not going to be just a 3-4 team. I don't think you can be anymore. I think it's very difficult. And I think we got guys with skill sets that wouldn't be conducive to that. You got a guy in Eddie Vanderdoes that if I played him in a 4-eye all day long, I'd be selling him short. I really think that. And if I played Owa as a 4-eye all day long or a 5 technique, I think that's selling him short. So at times we'll be that, but at times we're going to let these guys do what they do best.
You guys good?
Yeah, cool.